Alright, here we are with match 3 of Mono Green Stompy in our standard league. I will be playing first, and this hand looks good. You know, no Llanowar Elves for the turn 2 Steel Leaf Champion, but turn 3, turn 4, and turn 5 Virtuous Gear Hulk. It sounds good to me. Had some good luck with our past two matches. I'm really hopeful and excited for this match. I'm not going to lie, just off the 2 matches I've played here, I've had a heck of a lot of fun. Looks like our opponent did mull to 6, by the way. Okay. Looks like they might be on the Boggles plan. That's the only standard deck I know of that plays Sacred Cat. Alright, let's see. Ronus's Last Stand. That's actually pretty interesting here because I get to play turn 2, 5-4. But that stops me on turn 3 Steel Leaf Champion, which is less fun. So I feel like I just pass the turn here and still get to play this out. Yeah, I think so. I do think Ronus's Last Stand is a better card than a lot of people gave it credit for. You know, I've just had good luck with it in these last couple of matches, but you do have to be careful with the lands not untapping clause. It's very dangerous and very limiting in some cases. So definitely standard Boggles, 100% the case there. But I actually think I feel good about that with these because they all have such low power that I think just smashing in and them not being able to block my stuff is going to be very realistic here. I do love the standard Boggles deck, though. If you've checked out any of my other videos, I have played that deck a decent bit on here. I'm a very big fan of the deck, and I'm excited about what this deck is going to do with the release of Dominaria. I think there's a potential for the deck to go into splashing red for the champion, kind of like the core Spirit Walker, the +2/+2 trample one. I think there's a lot of good things that it's offering. Alright, Cartouche of Knowledge. Gonna let him fly here, double strike fly, so gonna be hitting me for 4 in the air, and draws him a card. That's definitely a good card to attach a Cartouche to. So I'm gonna go to 20, but I'm also gonna be playing another Steel Leaf Champion next turn. Opponent says they're thinking about putting Time of Ice into their Boggles deck. That's an interesting thought. Time of Ice is actually a pretty solid card, I will be honest. I played with it today at the pre-release, and I was very impressed. So yeah, I just smash in here. Play my other Steel Leaf Champion, then play Virtuous Gear Hulk next turn. All while hopefully not taking too much damage off this Flying Adorned Pouncer. Cartouche of Solidarity, so going to be hitting me for 6 in the air. So unfortunately this does turn into almost a scary race here. Because they're going to hit me for 6, take me to 9. Now, that means next turn, are they going to play a Ram? Oh, Aether Sphere Harvester. Crap, that's actually really good. Because if I was attacking this turn, I'd be attacking for what? 12 damage? 14 damage, which doesn't quite get me there. Yeah, I think there's a chance I might lose this game to that Flying Pouncer. Just scary. Okay, so I can either play out Ronus and the Kinra here. Or I can play Virtuous Gearhulk. And I think Gearhulk just has more upside. Problem is they're going to get in for 6, 9 in the air next turn. I'm not actually sure I have a way to win here. Hopefully they chump block my Steel Leaf Champions. That's probably actually going to be my only way out. Oh, I have to play my other land. I'll spread these counters out. Really hope they chump the Gearhulk, or chump one of these with the Harvester. But I do think I'm just going to be a little bit too far away. And they are, so I actually think that's very good for me here. Okay, so they realize that if they attack in next turn with the 9, they just win. I was really hoping they would block. I'm going to go ahead and make sure they do it. Alright, so they're attacking him with both. That's going to be enough for it. I'm going to go ahead and concede there. We'll go on to game 2. Going to sideboard, and I feel like Naturalize is going to be a good card for us here. I don't want to bring in too many of them, but it does seem solid. Thrashing Brontodon is going to be good. Cards that are not going to be very good are Blossoming Defense. That deck's not really targeting their opponent with much of anything. So I feel like I may actually just be able to take all of those out. And I'm actually going to throw in... Ooh, what should I do? Should I do more enchantment removal, or should I do a Galta? Because Galta could be fun. But I do have 3 enchantment removal right now. Having played the deck, I know that deck doesn't really get off the ground without enchantment, so we're going to bring in that other Naturalize. We'll be playing first. Looks fantastic. Love it. I do believe my opponent got pretty lucky here with that first game, just having that Adorned Pouncer to just throw everything on. That's really what did it for him. One more turn and I would have had that. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable going into game 2. Because I think as long as they don't have as explosive of a start with a double striking creature. You know, and that deck does make, that game really did make Adorned Pouncer look like a great card in this deck. It's actually been one of the cards I've been least impressed with, sadly, because it just hasn't put in the work that other cards do. You think, you know, double striker, throw a bunch of enchantments on it, but it's very weak to removal, and it's very, it's almost just a little bit slow being 2 mana when a lot of your creatures you want to play on 1 mana and then equip on the second turn. So it's almost a little deceptive. It's good for longer games because of the fact that it's able to come back, but for the most part, you really want more cards like this one that they're playing now, Sky Marcher Aspirant. Okay, so there's a Ronus, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to get to play him. Actually, I'm just going to play another Steel Leaf Champion. That seems like a better idea. But I'll go ahead and swing in with this Steel Leaf Champion. And put another one on the field. Now, like I was talking about earlier, with the potential of adding red into this deck, you know, it would make it a little bit less explosive, I think, and maybe a little bit more consistent by slowing down the deck just a touch. Okay. Exile target artifact or creature until this leaves. Alright, that's fine. Like I said, it would slow it down just a touch, but it would give the 1/1 Trampler in there, and then there's also that card that gets to create a 3/1 at the beginning of each combat for each equipment or aura attached to it, which seems like it has a lot of potential too. Now, luckily, red's going to be very easy to splash in this deck because with the release of the check lands, you'll have Sulphur Falls and Clifftop Retreat that are going to do a lot of good for the format, or for the fixing in the deck. And, oh, what was I saying? Sorry, I'm bad at multitasking. but it's going to do a lot for fixing. It's going to make it easy to splash, so I'm actually pretty excited to do that. I'm going to be making a deck tech here soon that is just kind of these cards. This is what I'm thinking about the potential that they have in there. So we go ahead and play out the Ronus here. This is hopefully going to seal things up for us. You know, even if our opponent plays another Thopter Arrest on my Ronus, or something in that vein, we have a Ronus's Last Stand in hand to play. If we draw another land, we're going to be playing a Territorial Allosaurus, things like that. This deck has just got a wealth of big, hefty creatures that we're able to play on early turns. Because, you know, I mean, what, we were on turn 4 there, and by turn 4 we've already played 2 5/4s, a 5/5, and our elf. Looks like our opponent's really thinking about what to do. Going to try to figure out what's got the best chance at them winning here. Okay, so they're going to make this guy a 3/2 flyer, which importantly is going to actually enable it to block the Steel Leaf Champion. Not trade with it, of course, unless they play something else on it, but it does allow them to block it. But it does look like Okay, so they're going to bring it into 4-3 range. They're going to make a 1-1. So it will be able to trade with the champion next turn, which I'm perfectly fine with, because I still got a pretty commanding board presence, and I'm going to be playing Ronus's Last Stand, presumably, unless I draw another land, which I did. So that means I'm going to actually just get to drop the Territorial Allosaurus. But that does have first strike, which is less than ideal. So I suppose in this case I just attack with Ronus. He's probably going to chump block with the warrior token. Very glad I noticed that first strike clause, because I definitely would have just gotten that eaten without even thinking twice about it. I'm very curious also how often we're actually going to be able to play the Allosaurus with the kicker cost. I want to say it's going to be pretty rare, but in the cases where we can, it's going to come in pretty strong. It's going to help us get it back in from behind. Ignore my typing over here. You'll see tons of misspellings that I have to go back and correct because I'm so self-conscious of myself. Ooh, Squire's Devotion. That's a pretty good card for this matchup, I think. It's going to bring him up to a 5-4. So that, again, is going to keep that in the first striking range here. Oh, but he's attacking in with it. Okay. So that's going to change things a lot, actually. I want to say that was actually a misplay by my opponent here. I'm really not sure he should have attacked. Because I'm going to get to play both of these guys. Merfolk Branchwalker and Resilient Kenra. Now I could just give some creatures trample, but only once. So I think I'm going to play the Resilient Kenra first. Pump up something here. Pump up my Steel Leaf Champion just because it can't be blocked. Yeah. It's going to take him to 7. Absolutely, I will use its ability. And then I'm going to go ahead and attack in. I'm going to have 2 guys left on the ground. So in worst case scenario, I don't know, I'm not sure how there's any way they just turn this around on me next turn, but okay. They're going to gain 1, take 12, so they'll take 11 total. Then I'm going to play Merfolk Branchwalker on main 2. And I found my land so that I can play my Gear Hulk next turn, so that's pretty cool. It's going to make them even bigger, take them up to 6. I'm going to play SRAM's Expert. Oh, another Squire's Devotion. Okay. So they're going to go up to 7. And if they want to attack here, they're going to take me to 4, but they're going to gain 7 life going to 11. Unless they found another aura off of all these draws with SRAM, which is entirely possible. Still feel like I'm in an okay spot there, just because of how wide I'm going to be going with my attacks. There's a sacred cat. Okay, are they going to attack? It's actually significantly better for me that they attack here, because it's going to make my attacks in a lot better. Because I'm going to get to attack in for 9 alone with the Steel Leaf Champion by playing the Gear Hulk. I'm not actually going to have to tap the Elf, so that's actually good too. So I'm going to do that now. Going to load up all of my stuff on my champion. And like what? They have 4 blocks. I just swing out here. Yep, they actually win this, don't they? That is tragic. But they're going to fly in next turn. There's no way I was around that because I didn't have anything to stop flying, so. Could I have won this game? Let me think how I misplayed. No, I don't think I could have. No. That's okay. 2-1 is still fine. We're going to go on to match 4.